The Bitcoin dominance is on the rise. Let's freaking go. In today's show, Bitcoin price eases downside as traders demand that 24,500 support holds. Also quoting Max Kaiser, we got the SEC killing off all the ish coins, and the ish coins, already defined as unregistered securities in El Salvador, come to Bitcoin maximalist country. He also goes on to share that El Salvador will be debt-free in 2030 with Bitcoin, which was his promise to Nayib Bukele. Also in today's show, Bitcoin in Cuba, why some Cubans are adopting Bitcoin to escape the matrix. We'll also be discussing crypto lender Abra has been insolvent since March, says Texas regulator, as well as BlackRock breaking news, applying for a spot Bitcoin ETF, a U.S. first if approved. And also we'll be discussing, is a Bitcoin ETF from BlackRock the best thing to happen to Bitcoin or not? And quoting on-chain analyst William Clemente, if BlackRock spot ETF app gets approved, it's undeniable that Operation Chokepoint 2.0 was orchestrated to drive out crypto native companies and bring in large traditional firms that are buddy-buddy with the U.S. government to try to control Bitcoin and crypto. And I remind you, back in 2017, the BlackRock CEO Larry Fink called Bitcoin an index of money laundering. So don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. Also in today's show, I'll be sharing a $773,000 Bitcoin price prediction, which is 30x from here as a result of a Bitcoin spot ETF by BlackRock. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. And welcome everyone just tuning in. This is pod episode number 1314. I'm your host JV, and today is June 16th, 2023, and the market is pumping. Once again, what I love to see, Bitcoin on the cusp of returning to 26,000, up about 4% for the day. We have Ether up 2.5%, trading at roughly $1,700. A couple still in the red are XRP down 2.5%, and Tron also in the red, while BNB, Solana, Polkadot, and all the major cryptos are pumping. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the crypto market cap back on the rise above $1 trillion with 32 billion in volume in the past 24 hours, with the Bitcoin dominance as high as we've seen it in a very long time. According to CoinMarketCap, it's 48%, with the Ether dominance at 19.3%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, Block Stacks up 16%, trading at 56 cents, followed by Quant up 11%, trading at $1.10, followed by FXS up 9%, trading at $5.05, followed by Pepe. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, hallelujah, Asia Green. Long overdue. We have Hex up 18.8%, PLS up 20.8%, Block Stacks up 15.6%, and just massive overall gains. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're back to neutral. Yesterday was fear with a 41, last week neutral 50, and last month neutral 50. So there you have it. And welcome to everyone just joining in. Make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit that bell icon if you're new to the channel so you get notified each and every single day that I go live with this live stream. And with that being shared, now let's check out the charts and what's happening with the Bitcoin and crypto market. Bitcoin recovered some lost ground on June 16th as market shook off mixed United States macro signals, as you can see here in the Bitcoin 1 hour candle chart. Now data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and Trading showed Bitcoin circling 25.5 after bouncing around 1,000 from the previous day lows. Popular trader Scoo followed moves on major exchange Binance around the price action, uncovering concerted buying efforts at the lows, and sellers subsequently stepped in closer to 26,000, as he points out here. Now the uptick occurred in step with news of the world's largest asset manager. They currently control 9.1 trillion. It's like virtually all the wealth in the world. BlackRock has filed to list the spot Bitcoin ETF. And for Mikhail Van de Poppe, here's what he had to share. BlackRock filing for an ETF is bullish for Bitcoin. It's amazing that all of a sudden, a week after the entire crackdown of the SEC on crypto, big parties jump in. They just want to rule the markets. Simple, but all in all, some positive signs for the markets. So there you have it. And also, when it came to Bitcoin in the shorter time frames, traders remained cautious amid the risk of further downside to come. Van de Poppe and Crypto Tony argued that the lows around 24.5 needed to hold, as he outlines here on Crypto Twitter, quoting Crypto Tony, spike back up for the support zone. So for me, I am long, scalping this up to 26 to 26.5, only while we hold the lows put in yesterday. And also, quoting Mustache, nothing has changed in my view. Fake outs are always possible, but it should be mentioned the Bitcoin is back in a falling wedge, retest of an inverse head and shoulder pattern in the form of a falling wedge. And Mustache referred to the inverse head and shoulders pattern playing out over the past year. And earlier in the month, trader Milky Bull Crypto argued a successful resolution can spark a run to $40,000. So send it and let's frickin' go. And again, welcome to everyone just tuning in and joining us. Now let's discuss Bitcoin adoption in Cuba to escape the matrix. One of my favorite phrases right there, to escape the matrix. Bitcoin is the escape valve out. I truly believe that. Let me know if you agree or disagree. So yeah, let's discuss it. And how many of you have ever been to Cuba before? Let me know down below. Bitcoin adoption could swell in Cuba, particularly if private businesses understand the upside of accepting Bitcoin as a currency. That's according to Cuban business person and Bitcoin advocate Eric Cruz, a recent immigrant to the United States. Cruz is a vocal proponent of Bitcoin adoption in Cuba. Cruz leads the remittance and money transfer services BitRemesas and QuawaPay, and has been outspoken in supporting Cuban citizens using Bitcoin since 2020. In a new interview as part of an upcoming documentary, Cruz explained that Cubans can use Bitcoin as a tool. And here he is right here. Massive shout out to him in Cuba. While some Cubans are using Bitcoin as a store of value, a means of exchange or remittance tool, ultimately it's about getting out from the matrix, he explained. Cruz referred to the country's centrally planned and officially communist economy. Cuba has no independent press, while the historic United States trade embargo makes it very hard for Cubans to access U.S. products, services, and even apps. Now, Bitcoin, on the other hand, is money independent of the state and has no leader or central party, hence the beauty of BTC. Cruz explained that during a visit to El Salvador in 2022, one of his friends asked, how do you teach about Bitcoin in Cuba? If Cuba is run by the Communist Party, surely the party would be against Bitcoin. Here was his response. I don't know if the government doesn't know just how powerful Bitcoin is. They don't know. And they are just thinking I am teaching the people about coins in the casino, or if they are afraid of the hyper-Bitcoinization of the Cuban society. Cruz hint that the government may already understand how Bitcoin works, and maybe they can bypass some sanctions worldwide using the internet-based money. And additionally, since 2021, the government has been warming up to cryptos as private businesses can legally accept cryptos, such as Bitcoin for goods and services. Cruz explains that more and more private companies should accept crypto instead of the Cuban peso or the moneda, which is a freely convertible currency. Quoting him here, if you get paid with the CUP or MLC, you are solving the customer's problem, but you are creating a problem for you because owners are saying that, or later, sooner or later, they'll try to convert the CLP or MLC into international currency. Now, the Cuban peso had devalued by more than 800% since its inception. Talk about hyperinflation. If a Cuban bought Bitcoin at an all-time high of 69,000, they would still have more value in Bitcoin than pesos. And moreover, the MLS or the MLC is a government-backed stablecoin used for purchases in state-ran supermarkets. Cubans looking to save money typically do so in the US dollar, and increasingly in Bitcoin. And quoting him again here, it is not financial advice, but it is better to store your value in Bitcoin than the CUP, a government-issued Ishcoin. I agree there, 100%, no question. He also goes on to share, we have no internet in Cuba until 5 years ago, and Bitcoin is 14 years old. The first contact with Bitcoin in our society was through scams. What a shame. Now, he also says that you have to teach the people who have the power to embrace that solution, and that's the private sector, okay? There is no law. There is no law that forbids the business from accepting Bitcoin. Not yet. So there you have it. Mass adoption. Let's frickin' go. And now for some not so good news. Rumors circling that Abra is insolvent coming out of Texas. And if you don't know, it's a major crypto lender. So let's break this down. Crypto lending firm Abra, which once handled more than $116 million worth of assets, had allegedly committed securities fraud and has been insolvent since March 31st, according to Texas regulators. In a June 15th enforcement action, which you can see on your screen, including an emergency cease and desist this order, the Texas State Securities Board accused Abra and its founder, William Barheit, of committing securities fraud, as well as engaging in deception regarding the sale of investment products through its affiliates, Abra Earn and Abra Boost. Quoting them here, the alleged misconduct includes the intentional concealment of financial info reflecting the capitalization of parties, defaults on loans, and the transfer of assets to Binance, the regulator said. Oh, connecting back to Binance, interesting. Abra was founded in 2014 by Barheit and allowed both retail and institutional investors to engage in the trading, lending, and borrowing of crypto assets. And as of May 17th, Abra collectively held $116.79 million of assets under management from Abra Earn and Abra Boost investors in the United States. The regulator alleged Barheit and Abra made offers of investments in Abra Earn in Texas containing statements that were materially misleading or otherwise likely to deceive the public. And according to regulators, Abra announced it would cease selling investments in Abra Earn in October of 2022. The firm allegedly did no such thing. In October, Abra and its affiliates began offering and selling investments in Abra Boost. Sounds like they doubled down. A digital asset depository account to accredited and institutional investors in the U.S. The state regulator also accused the firm of being insolvent or nearly insolvent as of March 31st. This is despite an unnamed affiliate claiming on social media as recently of June 11th that Abra was not bankrupt. And on September 12th of last year, Abra announced plans to become the first United States-based bank that would allow clients to deposit digital assets. The venture was expected to launch at the beginning of 2023, but the regulators say no. However, following the collapse of FTX in November of last year, Abra began laying off employees and restructuring to minimize their overhead. And on July 13, 2020, the SEC and Commodity Futures Trading Commission issued Abra with a joint fine of $300,000 for offering security-based swaps to retail investors without the proper registration, in addition to failing to transact those swaps on a registered national exchange. As the crypto crackdown continues, let me know how you feel this will likely impact the greater good of the crypto sphere, and hopefully you didn't have any funds caught up in Abra. And just another great reminder, not your keys, not your coins. So any crypto on the exchanges, remove them ASAP or forever hold your peace. You know what I mean? Now let's dive into everything about BlackRock, the biggest news out there right now, including a $773,000 price prediction, meaning the Bitcoin price will 30x as a result if this application gets approved. So let's start with the first bit of news, which was just launched yesterday. BlackRock filing an application for a Bitcoin spot exchange, ETF, exchange traded fund. The investment company is the world's largest, and it would be the first crypto spot ETF in the United States if it receives the approval. That's a big if. According to a filing by the NASDAQ Stock Exchange with the U.S. SEC, Coinbase Custody Trust Company would be the custodian of the fund's Bitcoin holdings, and the Bank of New York Mellon would custody its fiat. BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust would be traded as a commodity-based trust shares. According to the application just recently filed on June 15th, quoting them here, the shares have been designed to remove the obstacles represented by the complexities and operational burdens involved in a direct investment into Bitcoin. The Bitcoin price will be updated at least every 15 seconds during regular market trading using the CF benchmark index. And as Swan announced here, the BlackRock ETF filing is live in its spot. The assets of the trust consist primarily of Bitcoin held by a custodian on behalf of the trust. The document notes that previously approved spot exchange traded products in the commodities and currency markets are generally unregulated. The commission relied on the underlying futures market as the basis for approving trust shares in the past. Thus, as such, the regulated market of significant size test does not require that the spot Bitcoin market be regulated in order for the commission to approve this proposal. The SEC has not approved a Bitcoin spot ETF thus far in the United States. Despite numerous applicants, Grayscale took to the SEC to appeals court to argue for the soundness of the Bitcoin futures after the SEC rejected its app to create a spot Bitcoin ETF. We also have Cathie Wood's ARK Invest and European investment firm 21 Shares have also been pressing for a spot Bitcoin ETF approval, filing their third application in April. The world's first spot traded Bitcoin ETF was Canada's Purpose Bitcoin ETF, which was set up back in early 2021. And quoting William Clemente here, if BlackRock's spot ETF app gets approved, it's undeniable that Operation Choke Point 2.0 was orchestrated to drive out crypto native companies and bring in large traditional firms that are buddy-buddy with the US government and try to control Bitcoin and crypto. And I think the on-chain analyst makes a great point What are your thoughts? And do you think this spot Bitcoin ETF by BlackRock will skip the line of all the other apps and be approved? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below. Now let's discuss, is this the best thing to happen to Bitcoin? As there is a division amongst analysts, some saying it's the best thing that can happen, and others saying it's ultimately a doomsday, giving them control along with the government. And then we'll dive into a 30x price prediction for the King Crypto, reaching 773,000. And yes, Bitcoin is pumping up over $1,000, up over 4% for the day. As you can see, we back above 26,000. Let's frickin' go, shall we? So here we go. Let's discuss if this is good or not for the industry. Mike Novogratz says, fun being on Liz Clemens' show. And yes, BlackRock getting a Bitcoin ETF through would be the best thing that could happen to BTC. Meanwhile, crypto analyst James Edwards of Finder.com, a financial product comparison website, shared that the timing of BlackRock's filing should prove confidence in both Bitcoin as an asset and also Coinbase in its upcoming legal battle fight with the SEC. Quoting him here, BlackRock's willingness to press on with a Bitcoin ETF at a time when the SEC is on a warpath against crypto is very telling. It shows confidence in Bitcoin's status as a commodity rather than a security. And he also said it's unlikely that BlackRock would push forward with an ETF of this nature without serious consultation with regulators and confidence in Bitcoin's future legal status. BlackRock's intention to use Coinbase custody to control the funds should also be seen as massive confidence booster for Coinbase as it prepares its legal defense, he explained. He added that BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, currently controlling over 9.1 trillion in assets under management, wouldn't partner with Coinbase had they been confident in Coinbase's legal position. Well, now for the downside. Others argue the traditional investment giant's latest moves undermine the ethos of decentralized cryptos, or that the company may find a way to profit from retail investors. Quoting Scott Melker, he explained in a June 16th interview, as good as this may be for institutional adoption of the space, it kind of violates the ethos. It is a bit of a dishonest push from people who built the industry in the United States. And he's referring to Coinbase being the largest crypto exchange in the US, as well as Binance being the largest crypto exchange in the world. It's kind of a slap in the face, right? Now, Sinaheim Ventures partner of Ethereum bull Adam Cochran believes that BlackRock will swoop in on the discounted coins of retail investors, a theory also shared by Scott Melker. And then we have Steven Lupka, managing director at Swan, shared a similar view, predicting Bitcoin will reach $1 million per coin, but few retail investors would reap the rewards because the bulk of Bitcoin will be owned by BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, and other ETF issuers. Melker added that the Wall Street firms will continue to move into the space and that the U.S. regulators will likely choose them over incumbent platforms. Now, ARK Invest, Grayscale, Fidelity, Galaxy Digital, Van Eck, Valkyrie Investments, NYDIG, Skybridge, and WisdomTree are amongst the other investment firms that have applied for this to the SEC for similar Bitcoin and crypto ETFs. And since the news first reported, the price of Bitcoin has now increased over 1,000, and we are currently pumping, and things are getting pretty interesting. Now, I remind you, Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, back in 2017, this is an article from CNBC, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink calls Bitcoin an index of money laundering. This was 6 years ago. So it just goes to show you, never listen to what they say, but watch what they do. And I can't preach that strong enough. So there you have it. And welcome to each and every one of you tuning in to the live show. Are you pretty pumped up for this BlackRock news? Do you think the ETF will likely be approved or denied? Let me know your honest thoughts. I also want to remind you that just 10 months out from the Bitcoin halving in 2024, could it be a coincidence? All this is happening, the crypto regulation followed by the spot Bitcoin ETF coinciding with the halving? Let me know, you know what I mean? Now let's break down the $773,000 Bitcoin price prediction, shall we? And then we'll dive into some live Q&A. Now here we go. BlackRock, and this was actually off of the news for the institutional arm for custody services through Coinbase Prime, which was a partnership. We had InvestAnswers, one of my favorite analysts. He stated that this partnership between the two financial giants could lead to an explosion of the price of Bitcoin. And according to InvestAnswers, this partnership could probably raise the price of Bitcoin up to $773,000 per coin. Send it and let's freaking go. Quoting him here, if BlackRock were to place 0.5% of its assets assets under Bitcoin management, the Bitcoin market cap would be affected by an increase of over $1 trillion. This would add about $75,000 to the Bitcoin price. That would take us above what, 100 grand, right? Bitcoin, which at this time was at 23,000, today we're at 26,000, will make its way to 98,000. This is 326% more than today's price. It is very, very achievable. So yeah, 773,000 for the long term. Send it. Let's freaking go. Now, the analyst also stated that if BlackRock, which stands out with an asset value of 10 trillion, roughly, ballpark, pulls 1% of its asset management into Bitcoin, then Bitcoin could be worth 150,000. Now, if they allocate a 1% stake, which will, of course, take time to reach this level, that would add about $2.1 trillion to the market cap, the $150,000 to the price, which would push the Bitcoin price to above 173,000 per coin, which is a profit of over 652%. The analyst then stated the Bitcoin can rise to 773,000 per coin if BlackRock allocated just a 5% share. And on the other hand, this estimate can be considered quite maximalist in the current situation. However, according to the crypto analyst, between the next 3 to 5 years, the price will be very achievable at these levels. Now, if, as analyst Dan Tapiero said, they add 5%, which I think is very aggressive, maybe with time, maybe within the next 3 to 5 years, it will be possible. This is quite easily a push for the price of a Bitcoin to 773,000 in the next 3 to 5 years. So there you have it, ultimately saying a $773,000 Bitcoin price by 2026 to 2028. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments right down below. And we are still pumping, now up 4.5% for the day, with Bitcoin up over $1,100 in the past 24 hours. Let's freaking go. And we have a jam-packed live chat, which I love to see. 200 people viewing us right now. What's good, Dennis? What's good, Helen? What's good, Volkman? What's good, Trini? What's good, Space Oddity? I love a jumping live chat like we have today, and I appreciate each and every one of your support. Roman Rumbler says Grayscale's ETF has been denied multiple times. How BlackRock could get approved? It seems a no-go. Well, you know what I mean? It kind of is like they're the insider with the government, so they may skip the line. It wouldn't look good, and it will probably create a lot of lawsuits in the crypto industry, as everyone is currently suing each other between regulators, exchanges, and vice versa. But it is interesting nonetheless. So we'll see how this plays out. I'll be keeping everyone up to date. And I think William Clemente made a great point when he said if BlackRock Spot ETF gets approved, it's undeniable that Operation Choke Point 2.0 was orchestrated to drive out crypto native companies and bring in the large traditional firms. That seems like it's a given. They're buddy-buddy with the US government and will try to control Bitcoin and crypto. So whole coiners, get your hands on more Bitcoin. Get as much Bitcoin in your possession as you can and self-custody it, or forever hold your peace, because there may be a time where it becomes impossible to become a whole coiner, especially with mass institutional adoption, spot Bitcoin ETFs, and massive asset giant managers like BlackRock controlling the space. You know what I mean? Bitcoin Maximus in the building. Shout out to all my crew, all my crypto peeps. I greatly appreciate y'all. Why do I get the feeling we're about to dance with the devil in BlackRock? Because you're a smart man. What's good, Helen? It's been a very long time. I appreciate you tuning back in. Selling with Twins was poppin'. Jeff S says BTFD. You already know, fam. Buy that freaking dip. That's the motto. Yes, this is pod episode number 1314. Time sure does fly. Bonjour. What's good, digital dankness? Brother, what's poppin'? How are you guys today? Doing fantastic. Appreciate you tuning in as always, and always appreciate the support. Pump is incoming, says Sailing with Twins. We already pumping. Keep the pump going. Let's get to 27,000. This news from BlackRock is apparently massive, hence why the entire market is pumping right now. We're up now almost 5% in the past 24 hours. Let's go. Greetings from Johnny Midas. I appreciate you tuning in, fam, as always. Jim, as a reminder to hit that like button. Greatly appreciate that, Jim, as the greatest thing you can do to help support the channel and spread the word. Dankness says to smash the like. It's the greatest compliment. Subscribe and set up notifications if you haven't. That's right, ring that bell. And welcome to the CNA fam. Welcome to the entire crypto crew. Feeling the vibes today, says Adam too. That's what's up. You gotta love it. Appreciate that. All of a sudden, BlackRock doesn't have a problem anymore with Bitcoin's energy use, and they claimed and forced Elon to sell some of his That is right. That is a fact. What's going on, Bitcoin? Trini, good to see you. Trini, Bitcoin's on the move and recovering from the June 14 losses. Just like that. How many of you are now glad you took advantage of that dip at 25,000? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Keep stacking them stats, fam. I completely agree. When the ETF comes out, Bitcoin to the moon, says Martin Burke. That's what's up. It's just a matter of time. It seems everything is aligning perfectly as it should. Isn't it a trust, not an ETF? An ETF is an exchange-traded fund, Dennis. I think you may be mixing up with the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. They're looking to ultimately alter their GBTC into a spot Bitcoin ETF because it's in everyone's advantage. But the regulators, they're just, crickets. You know what I mean? 773,000. Troy, what's good? Yeah, man, let's go. Bring it. Good to see the fam. BlackRock will probably be approved. More than likely, if BlackRock doesn't get approved, who will? Nobody. So here's the scenario. BlackRock does not get approved. Nobody gets approved. And then next year, maybe they have another application and they get approved at around the time of the halving. That's one scenario. Another scenario, BlackRock skips the line and gets approval and everything else gets denied. And then a government and BlackRock have a monopoly on the Bitcoin ETF. That's what it seems like is going to happen, but we shall see how this plays out. Bullish, 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 says Jeff. Love it. What about the energy FUD? Yeah, there's lots of energy FUD, and we all know it's FUD at the end of the day. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, so they can try to manipulate the markets and do what they do best. I've been hearing that for a few years now. Bitcoin to 6 figures, says Greedy Savvy One. It's coming. It's just a matter of time. The $1 million question becomes, by when? I think it's most likely to happen in 2024, and I feel nothing can stop it, but that's my 2 Satoshis. Let me know if you agree or disagree. It's not a slap in the face, it's a slap of reality. You really think you will dethrone the king and they won't fight back dirty? You make a great point, Chris. We're about to dance with the devil, ? Says Maximus. Pump it, says 3 Diglets. Let's pump it up. Correction, bottom in 2023, new all-time high in play. That's what's up. And remember 2 days ago, everyone's calling for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 Bitcoin price. And I said, hold your horses. That's a probability, but I said it's unlikely. I maybe gave it at the height a 20% chance of happening. And now we pumping once again. God, please give us a 773,000 BTC. In Jesus' name we praise. We also pray to Satoshi. Let's do it. Ilya, what's up? Well, only ETF in the US that will be approved. They will mark the start of the new bull market in crypto. You got to keep in mind there's already spot ETFs in different spots, parts of the world. I think the first one in the Americas is in Canada, as I mentioned, but this is absolutely major. There's currently trillions upon trillions of dollars sitting on the sidelines just awaiting to be invested into crypto. So this is the moment we've all been waiting for. So we see how it plays out. BlackRock, if you can't beat them, try to control them. 100%. That's what Larry Fink is thinking. I'm buying a BlackRock shirt. That's what's up. I don't want to wait 10 years to see a $773,000 BTC. I don't think you'll have to wait 10 years. I think in 10 years, by the year, what is that? Oh my God, 2033, we can see a $10 million Bitcoin price. So let's 10x that. How's that sound? Let me know. Bitcoin doesn't care about an ETF. TikTok next block. That's right, Dan. Bitcoin's going to do what Bitcoin's going to do. It's on its own trajectory. I truly believe that. Good is stacking stats. Keep stacking them stats, fam. That's what's up. Thanks, Jay. Let's pump. Appreciate that, Rambler. Appreciate your support. BlackRock will pump the price if it goes down, and being the government buddies will make it more likely to happen, but it's a deal with the devil, in my opinion. Word up. Jeff says, sweet short tears. Good to see you there, bud. Will we see the BlackRock putting pressure on the SEC next? Wouldn't that be something? We shall soon find out. BlackRock's ETF approved deny rate is 575 to 1. Hilarious, but not hilarious at the same time. I appreciate the super chat contribution coming from 3 Diglets. He just sent me $10 and said, a 773,000 Bitcoin price feels right. Let's make it happen, sirs. Full send and let's freaking go. And I greatly appreciate your support. I also appreciate all the zaps being sent via the Lightning Network. As you'll notice, there's a QR code on the screen. I received one today for 500 sats. I don't know who it's from because there's no message. And yesterday I received 20,000 sats. So whoever sent that to me, I greatly appreciate it. Much love and much respect. Yeah, I mean, they hardly miss. But in the US, this will be the first one and the only one, JB. That is right, Ilya, 100%. They could approve BlackRock along with other apps, all of a sudden have clarity of regulation. It seems Bitcoin is the only one with the clarity, deemed a commodity by the CFTC, as well as the SEC and the SEC chairman, Mr. Noclair Gare. Yeah, I mean, will we see BlackRock putting pressure on the SEC? More than likely. The USA has 70% of the global financial markets. Word up. Let's freaking go, says Trini. So overall consensus, I would say y'all are pretty pumped up for this BlackRock news. Long anticipated, and the market continues to pump as we do in this live stream with the live Q&A. We currently above 26,200, up roughly $1,200, which is 4.74% in the past 24 hours. Should we keep chatting and keep pumping the price? What do you guys think? If you'd like me to do that, keep dropping comments, because the more comments I have, the more comments I'll read out loud. That's how the game works. So yeah, let me know why you're pumped up and what got you so excited. Much love, and I agree, 700,000 is where the Bitcoin price needs to be, says Digital Dankness. No argument from me there. Send it and let's frickin' go. And now for a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. We discussed the latest technical analysis as the Bitcoin price eases the downside as traders demand that 24/5 support holds, and we currently pump in way above 26,000. We also discussed Bitcoin and Cuba, why some Cubans are adopting Bitcoin as a way to escape the matrix. We also discussed that crypto lender Abra has been insolvent since March, according to Texas regulator, and breaking news of BlackRock applying for a spot Bitcoin ETF, a US first if approved. We also discussed, is this the best thing for Bitcoin, having this spot Bitcoin ETF approved, or could it be a doomsday? We also discussed back in 2017, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink called Bitcoin an index of money laundering. And we also discussed the Bitcoin price likely to 30x from here, hitting a whopping $773,000 per coin. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments right down below.